Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Think Your Way to an Epic Life. And today's episode is really very cool. It is talk about think your way to an epic life. We all know that 90% of our thoughts are in our subconscious and only 10% is what we're trying to reprogram by affirmations and all that good stuff. This program will get down into the 90%, and at the end of it, you have an opportunity to download the app from this guest that is her life's work, 25 years worth of work in hypnosis and meditation, and she has recordings for everything you can imagine. You want to quit drinking, you want to quit smoking, you want to start working out, you want to start a business, you want to attract better clients, whatever it is. She will help you get into the subconscious part of you that will just attract those things to you. She's very much into the law of attraction and just a very fascinating lady. So enjoy. If it works for you, please share it with your friends and your family. And with no further ado, I'm introducing Victoria. Thank you for being here. All right. So one of the questions that has been driving me crazy and I've been wanting to ask you the whole time is, what is the difference between hypnosis and meditation?
Oh, that's such a great question. So the way I define it, and I think everybody has their own, there's not one right or wrong answer for this. But the way I define the difference is, hypnosis is really about receiving and reprogramming your subconscious mind to act in a different way, to change the behaviors, to change the thinking. And, so it's all about changing some sort of, existing state. Meditation, on the other hand, is almost like the opposite, if you really think about it. We're still accessing the subconscious mind a lot of times, and we're pulling information that's already there. So we're just accepting and allowing what already is. And, and so we're just, and it's a way of sometimes speaking to God or tapping into your intuition or just trying to gain some sort of control over the mind and those racing thoughts that you have. And really just kind of allowing yourself to be.
Just to be. And so how did you, were you always this person, or did you used to be just all the time?
Well, I still am that same person. I still do have, racing thoughts from time to time. I just know how to deal with them better. But, was I always a hypnotherapist or, somebody who taught meditation? No, I was actually in a very, very different field before this. I've been doing this for 25 years now, professionally. I actually started, thinking about meditation and a little bit of hypnosis and self-help back when I was 18, like in the mid 80s, let's just say. And so I'm kind of giving away my age there, but who cares? Age is just a number. And, so I kind of dabbled in it a little bit. I was always like really fascinated with the mind and the power of the mind. Everybody knows that, we are only using a small fraction of our mind, but a person doesn't necessarily change, just because they have a passive interest in something. You're either really inspired or you're really in some kind of a negative space. We're either positively or negatively motivated, to change. And so for me, that came about actually on the kind of the negative side. I was just kind of going through a rough time where I just sort of like lost all interest in what I was doing. I was a stockbroker. I had, so I was taking the corporate route to success and achievement and sort of following in my father's footsteps. That's what he did. And, but I was my own, I worked on my own with a brokerage firm, a separate brokerage firm, and I, achieved a certain level of success and in all areas of my life, financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, every area. I had a nice house, nice husband, nice everything. But I just got to this point where I just wasn't feeling it anymore, and I just I was having a hard time just even getting out of bed and, going to work to get on the phone and make these cold calls and, do all the things. And so I put myself in a personal growth seminar for 4 days, and that's just where the lights turned on. And it was we did all of my favorite things that I do now. We did all these closed eye techniques, meditation, visualization, played some games with the mind, and it was really cool. And I'm this is what I need to be doing. I want to help people with this. And, because I just had all these clarity and just tapped into things, resources in my mind that I didn't really realize existed, and didn't know quite what that was going to look like. So I started writing these meditations, and I decided eventually that I wanted to help people, kind of I wanted to do originally I wanted to do these seminars, but I was having a hard time getting people to come to the seminar. And so I thought, let's just go with what people want. And so I thought, let's bring the seminar to them. And I'll create these recordings that people can just use in the comfort of their own home whenever they want and transform that way, a little bit at a time. And so from that point forward, I started my own business. I was given an ultimatum by my boss where I was working. And let's just say I had just started my business. I was making no money in my new business at all. I was making about a 6-figure income at the time in my stockbroker business. And I had 30 days to make a decision. And he gave me an ultimatum. He's like, either shut the business down or do only that. And that's what I chose. I chose to do only that. Just threw all caution to the wind and trusted. And here I am. I'm still here.
Oh, and thank you for sharing that. So amazing. I hear this story on my podcast from people like yourself all the time, where they're in this successful job. They climbed and they climbed and they climbed and they got to the top of the ladder. And then they're like, I hate this. I hate this. But most people just stay there because I'm at the top. What gave you, how did you do it? I mean, how did you actually do it? Here, let me put it into you this way, because I want our listeners to be able to really grow from this.
Yeah.
How were you able to take what all the naysayers said, all the people who said, are you crazy? I'm sure you had to have had that, right? Are you crazy? Your
family thought I was crazy.
Exactly.
And it was, but I decided at that time, I said, because like I said, I was making over a 6-figure income at that time, just barely. And I said to myself, it's I would rather do something that I love and be happy and make a quarter of that amount of money, which you could live on back in those days, in the late 90s. It was 1999. You could almost barely make a living on $25,000 a year. And like I said, that's more important that I'm happy. It's more important that I do something where I feel fulfilled. It's more important to me that, I was making a little bit of a difference in people's financial well-being by being a stockbroker, but I wanted to make a deeper difference. I wanted to make, that was more surface. I wanted to make a difference in, how people view themselves and and be able to empower themselves to change their whole reality. And I just knew also that I didn't want to be a slave for money. And, if you make money, if you make what, it's like, oh, I'm making a lot of money, so I can't quit. Well, guess what? That is called the golden handcuffs. And you will always have to be a slave for money if you make that your God, your decision. Nothing wrong with it. Trust me, I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do anything that I don't want to do, in order to make it.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. And it is, and the thing that people who haven't gotten there don't understand is that now that you're doing what you love with all your heart and you're not doing anything you don't want to do, the money's better now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Making so much more, income. And so it's, it really, really does work. You will go through challenges. There's no becoming an entrepreneur, and going through this process for 25 years and not having some kind of ups and downs. There's going to be ups and downs. I've changed my business model so many times, and each time I've done that, it's like, oh, what did I do? I just screwed everything up for a little while, but it's like, in a way, I think it's kind of the universe sort of like putting up little roadblocks so you can't go back. It's like it's like burning the bridges to your old life, so that you have to stay committed and stay focused on the trajectory that you're now on.
Progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we're not. That's the thing is, I also don't want our listeners to feel like it was like you're 18 years old and you went to, was it a Tony Robbins UPW?
It wasn't. I've actually done that now. This was called Psy Seminars. It's a brand that's on the West Coast primarily. And and it was, kind of little known. But anyway, yeah, I did everything that this company had to offer. I mean, you start off with like a 4-day basic, then you do a 7-day retreat, and then you do a 10-day women's retreat, and then you do a 90-day, kind of like to, keep every. And then on the other hand, then I was a coach for all of that. So because during that 90 days, you have a coach that you check in with every day. And so I became, I did the coaching side. I did every single thing this company had to offer. And, and a lot of people, when you do that, it seems like a lot of people they expect just to change overnight. And what happens there is the lights turn on, but it's up to you to continue, to work it, because, that we're surrounded by so many opportunities to go back to our old selves again. And you have to stay focused on, you have to continue to be persistent, and keep that vision in your mind, even when things look like they're not happening. They will happen if you stick with it and you stay persistent. Every single goal that I've ever achieved, at one point, it looked like it was never going to happen. It really did. And, it's kind of like that 3 feet from gold in the Think and Grow Rich story, where, the guy gave up and he realized later that if he just kept at it, he was only 3 feet from gold. And so you always have to realize your success is right around the corner. You just have to, keep moving forward.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're singing a love song to me here. This is it's so true. People, I think people expect that I go to a class and then I'm done. Yeah. Like our society teaches, you go to college and you get that degree and then you're done. You don't have to, most Americans never open a book after they get out of school.
Yeah. Yeah.
How important is continuous learning?
Oh, it is. It's super important because, we are meant to grow, and we are meant to, we're going to face certain challenges. So we have to continue to grow ourselves and learn how to adapt to the changes that are constantly, going on around us. I mean, the thing is that you're either in a state of growth or you're in a state of decay. There's no in the middle. There's no neutral, because the world is moving forward. Everything around you in the whole universe is forward moving. So if you are not growing, if you're not taking classes and growing yourself and learning new things, then you're actually moving backward.
Yeah, thank you for being so blunt. Thank you. I mean, that's the beauty of a venue like this, is that we're not talking to someone who's personally offended. We're talking to a lot of people, and they're going, "Oh, yep, you got me on that." I mean, I can't just sit still, because I'm not sitting still. I'm sliding backwards. Okay, so back to meditation and hypnotism, and you're 18 years old, and you go to this amazing seminar that changes your life.
It was when I was 28. That was when I was 28 that I went to that seminar.
Okay, but you said you got interested at 18.
I got interested when I was 18, and then that was before I became the stockbroker. So,
okay.
Yeah. And then, so when I got involved in, so it was like 18, and then I became a stockbroker when I was 23, I think. Yeah, 22, 23. And then it was at the end of that 6-year period of like, okay, I'm burnt out on this. It was about 28 when I took that personal development seminar.
Okay, so you emptied the coins of your purse into your mind. You went to the seminar, and everybody told you were crazy to do that, and you did it anyway. Is there a theme here? And he said, here's the thing. I think so many of us give our power away to other people and their opinions.
Oh.
And the truth is, the only person who's going to suffer the consequences of the decisions that you make, even though you got opinions from other people, you're the one that's going to have to deal with it. So in spite of what people say, and believe me, I understand it, because I was one of them. When you talk about hypnosis and meditation, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, I'm going to just sit there and go, and it's going to be great, and it's going to make a difference, right? For someone in that mindset, where should they start?
So I would say the first thing that they want to do is first get clear on your purpose. Because, I think that just having some kind of reason why you want to improve yourself through meditation, that's really the first thing. Because if you start something and you don't really know why, I mean, it's so tempting to just let it slip. And, you wake, if you say you started a morning meditation practice, and you say, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make a half an hour or 20 minutes for myself every morning, to get out of bed and sit and meditate. Well, it's not a quick fix. It's not something that's like, oh, all of a sudden I'm feeling wonderful again. So why do you want to meditate is really the first place. What are you hoping to achieve by that? What is it that you ultimately want in your life? And so that would be really the first place, is just to get clear on why you're doing it in the first place. Then the second thing I would do is, I would really, it works best if you have a set time that you do it every day. And that way, it's like, when it's gonna happen, and you start to develop an appetite for it, and your mind already starts to prepare itself for that special time. It's the same thing, like, you're going to bed at a certain time every night. You're going to have dinner and lunch and breakfast, at the same time every day, typically. And, so this works the exact same way. You start to just like, okay, I'm ready. It's time to meditate. And then it's much easier to clear your mind and do what you need to do. And then I would just also recommend that a person who's just starting with it, that you give yourself some grace, with the whole mental thing. This is probably one of the biggest complaints that people have is, I'm not able to clear your mind. You're not going to be able to. It's you just have to kind of know that going in. That's not the point. The point is simply to listen. The point is simply to listen and observe. And when you hear those thoughts, typically it's about, having a focal point that you can always return back to, such as your breath or such as a mantra, and figure out in advance, like, what is that focal point that I'm going to always return back to? And then, again, whenever you like find yourself like, okay, it's like walking a dog, it's like, okay, here, here, they're just constantly like going off the path here, it's the same thing with your thoughts. You got to like, give yourself some grace, same way you would give to an animal, because, in a way, it's kind of, how your thoughts are. They're very kind of have a mind of their own. And, but by doing this, the whole point is like, this is discipline. This is about like, disciplining and focusing yourself so that throughout the rest of your day, when your mind starts going and wandering, it's like, oh, I think I'm going to spend all day on checking social media, or I think I'm going to react to this person, or I think I'm, and you do these things that you don't really want to be doing. Well, that begins to change because you just have more self-control and more discipline.
Yeah, it is amazing, guys. I was much like probably most of you thinking that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I have so much to do, and you want me to sit and be quiet, and and it really has made a massive difference in my life, and I'm sure my relationships would tell you I'm a much more enjoyable person to be around since I've been meditating regularly. So that's where somebody starts, and then is hypnosis for everyone, or is that what is your guidance on that?
Well, I would definitely say it's for everyone, because we all have a subconscious mind, so, and the subconscious mind is like 90%, if not more, of our whole mind. And so the hypnosis helps us ultimately to reprogram, rewire the thoughts, the emotions, the perspectives, the beliefs, the filters, everything that we see, everything that we see out there, it's all coming through these filters. And, so, it just makes your life easier. In essence, rather than trying to battle with our conscious willpower, which is a very, very small fraction of our mind. Anytime you have ever tried to break a habit, I mean, have you ever noticed how hard that is to just break a habit or start a new habit? I'm going to start that new diet program, that new exercise program. I'm going to work this way. I'm going to be productive today. I'm going to be motivated. All that stuff, it's just like it goes out the window so easy. It's just these fleeting little moments. Because, it's not really it's not really a conscious mind that's running the show. It's our subconscious mind that's running the show. And everyone has, this, going on. And, to one degree or in one area of their life or another. And so absolutely hypnosis is a way to, gain confidence, to be more focused, to be more productive, to be more motivated, to attract things into your life, to change your ideas about money, to change your ideas about relationships. You can even heal yourself. You can use it to get better sleep. I mean, like I have 1,000 things in my, there's like 1,000 different reasons why a person might benefit from hypnosis.
Oh, at least. And so what is one of, and I know you've got thousands and I'm not going to ask for a person's name or anything, but what is one person that you have done hypnosis with that was just shocking even to you that they were this person and by the time they left, they were this person?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this woman that I've been working with forever, she first, came to me. I want to say weighing like in the 200s, and she lost something like, I want to say 75 pounds. She was also working in a dead end job. She started her own business. Her business is like I don't know the exact numbers, but I know she's very successful. She just talks constantly about everything that has changed her health, her relationships. She just recently bought, the home of her dreams with a swimming pool in the backyard. She lives in Florida. Yeah, I mean, and I have many stories like that. I've helped authors to, write their own best-selling books. I have helped coaches get their practices off the ground. And one lady, she made a move from the United States. Not only did she move there, but she moved there and started her coaching practice in the UK. She wanted, this was a dream of hers, and it happened within a year. And so it's like, it's incredible the amount of change that I've seen, people make.
What about like addiction, that kind of stuff?
That is, it definitely works for that for sure. I've helped numerous people quit smoking, quit drinking, things like that. It's not where I put a lot of my focus, so I don't really do a lot of one-on-one work with people in the area of addiction these days. You have to kind of, as you know, as a business owner, you have to kind of pick a niche and really focus. And so I focus primarily on helping people manifest abundance, through the law of attraction. And that's just, I love doing that. Being an entrepreneur, that was having a hard time with that. And you know what? I battled a little bit of addiction myself. I was a smoker for 20 years. And right at that exact same period in my life, in 1998, I quit smoking myself. And I used the power of hypnosis. And I created a bunch of recordings for it. And it's worked wonders for people in that area. And it absolutely works. I just don't focus on that personally these days.
Got you. So your app is something that is unbelievable. And I cannot believe, guys, it's practically free. It's like less than $100. And literally, if you're just searching the web and you're saying, I want a hypnotism or I want a meditation, you have no idea what you're getting. I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying really, really hard because this genre has a really shady reputation, and it's because the internet is free to anyone and anyone can put anything on there. If you want a true professional, I am telling you, go get this app, because anything you can think of that you want to work on, like I haven't even come close to exhausting it, not even close.
You never will.
Because you're continuing to add, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So tell us about this app.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've always wanted to have a single place where people could go, and just get access, to with a subscription to, all my life's work. Because if you go to like hiptalk.com, my website, you're going to pay for a one-off. You're going to pay $29 for one session. So, I mean, that's a recording, to work with me directly, it's a lot more. But, so this, this app,
It's a lot more. That's cool. And you're way worth it, right? I mean, there's no question. You wouldn't be getting a lot more if you weren't bringing the value. And that's what people have to understand is guys, empty the coins of your purse into your mind, and you will be stunned at how quickly things can change when you're working with your subconscious instead of your conscious, the 10%.
So I always wanted to build this app. And, I got to tell you, like, even before there was Headspace and Calm and some of these other, bigger named brands out there, even before they came, I had this idea in my head that I wanted to do something like this. And I broke ground on, a project like this many years ago, and it just never got off. I never got it out to market because of working with a bad development team. And so, fast forward through all the, different single apps and everything, I finally, had my HypnoCloud app, and then now I have Believe. And in this app, I mean, like you said, I mean, there are over 1,000 hypnosis sessions. There's also scripts, there's videos, there's courses that I'm adding, and I'm adding new content almost daily. For those of you who are out there just want to try it out, you had mentioned it's just under $100. It's actually free to download. It's a free app to download, and I plan to keep about 10% of the content, without a subscription. So you can literally download the app, and you can get access to some amazing content for no money. So I don't want you to even think about that until you've had an opportunity to try out the app. Because it's like try before you buy kind of thing. And yeah, some people just they're fine with just the 100 or so free sessions that are right there inside the app. It's pretty amazing. I was telling you yesterday, it's like it's kind of a dream for me because it's so easy. I get an idea in the morning. It's like, oh, what do I want to create today? And I'll create something, and later in the afternoon, there it is. And, so it's like literally every day I get to manifest something.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. So somebody who's out there listening and is curious, and they go and they get your app, and they start and they do their stuff.
Yeah.
What else should they be doing to make it really powerful? How can they best approach your app to get the most out of it?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, so the first thing is when you get the app, definitely set yourself a reminder, to listen to it every day. Because it's, you probably have like 100 apps on your phone, and they're not just like all calling out to you to say, use me, so like set yourself a reminder that like, okay, I've found a session that I really love, and, add that session to your favorites so you can always find it, and set yourself a reminder, that you're going to listen to it every day. And I would, choose a place, place, same time every day, to reprogram, your mind. Now, it may be that you listen to one in the morning, one in the afternoon, or one in the evening. And then I would also, if you wanted to add a little extra to it, journal about your experience after, you've completed the session. And, like journal about the progress that you're making, because it's all about progress. And before you know it, you'll look back on that journal and you're like, oh, I was working on that a month ago and look where I am today. And it's pretty amazing. And I plan to create even more functionality in the app that's going to help you even more. But, another cool thing that you can do is you can set your goals and your feelings in the app, and it's going to create recommended sessions that are very, because with over 1,000 in the app, it might be hard to choose like, well, which one do I listen to first? So if you set those goals and feelings, how do I want to feel? What goal am I working on? That'll help you to know, where you should spend your focus first.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, this is great. Oh, I hate that we're running out of time. What have I not asked you where I should have?
Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. I think you might have listen, we've talked a lot about hypnosis. We haven't talked about law of attraction and manifestation, which is something that, the app mostly focuses on a lot of law of attraction, manifestation oriented programs. And so, just to give you a little taste of, what law of attraction is all about, law of attraction, is a philosophy essentially that we draw to us the experiences, the opportunities that are in alignment with our predominant thoughts, feelings, vibration, and actions. And so the whole idea is that we get to choose what we want in this life. We absolutely get to choose. We don't have to stay stuck in a situation that we don't prefer. If we want something, we want a new business, we want a new relationship, we want to have the body of our dreams, whatever it is, if you have that seed of an idea, by watering that seed and by acknowledging that and by accepting responsibility for the fact that, we are where we are because of the same law.
So bluntly, you are saying that wherever anyone who's listening to this right now, wherever they are in their life, in their marriage, in their career, in their relationships, it is because of their thinking.
100%. And, I'm guilty of it too. I mean, listen, just knowing this doesn't necessarily mean that you always 100% operate from that understanding. It's a practice. And the more we practice that, sometimes you can have like I am so dialed in with my relationship. My relationship is wonderful. I've got a wonderful, wonderful man. My business is going wonderful. Choosing the most helpful people in the world to help me run my business, that's been an area that, I've dwelled on negatively for a long period of time. And guess what? It keeps showing up. So I am living proof that it works for you and it also can work against you. So I know for me, it's like, okay, I have to be disciplined in that area if I'm going to draw in the right people to help me with my business. And, so we have to, take a look at a perpetuating situation in your own life. What is it that needs to change? And notice, what have you been thinking about that? How have you been feeling about that? Because the universe responds not just to how we're thinking, because the thinking is what causes the feelings. So when we change our thinking, then we will change the vibration that we're emitting, which is causing, the behaviors, the actions, and everything that we're drawing toward us. And that, my friends, is what the Believe app helps you to do, and I'm getting really dialed in with coming up with some really creative, very special situations for my entrepreneurial friends out there who, have little struggles and challenges in their business. And, it's like very, very specific struggles. So it's like, okay, when you're, feeling like you need to be a little bit more persistent, or when you're feeling like you need a little bit more confidence to do the podcast, or to attract the right podcast guests, I even have. I'm really trying to hone in on all the special challenges that my, entrepreneurial friends face with their thinking, so that they can line up their thinking to attract what it is that they really want instead.
Okay, so for all of you Debbie Doubters out there, if placebos didn't work, maybe you could say this doesn't work, but placebos work. It is fascinating. Like literally people have had surgery done on them when all they had injected was saline. It was not morphine, it was saline, nothing injected, and they were able to be cut into, and they believed so much that they had morphine. So you're assisting people to believe what they want out of life.
That is so true. That's exactly right. That's you hit the nail right on the head. That's what it is. And it's like, change your thoughts, change your life. But it's, there's a little bit more orchestrating that, it's not just your thoughts, but the thoughts are going to create the feelings, and the feelings are going to cause you, nothing happens without some kind of action, but it has to be inspired action. And, you can't like force, the things to change. You have to allow things to change. And, being persistent, being motivated, being confident, these are all things that people struggle with that can, they can use to change their life. And, that's what I'm here to do, is help inspire you to change your life.
Well, I want to thank you. It is such an amazing collection. This app is something, and people, this is 104th or 5th episode, and I'm not here to sell things, and people know that. But when I do believe in something, I am selling the crap out of it because it needs to get sold. It really does. This is amazing. This is your entire life's work that you have for 25 years worth of stuff. You've got over 1,000 different, like, seriously, guys, even if you only do the free one is worth just as much as the other one, right? It just gets started. Just start and see what happens in your life. Any last words of wisdom for our folks?
Basically, I'll just end with a quote. One of my my favorite quotes, which is by Goethe, and it really encapsulates everything that we've talked about here. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. And essentially, if you can dream it, you can do it.
And it's been proven over and over and over again. It's what you focus on. What you get more of what you focus on. And so your app, I believe, and I'm just telling you guys, as someone who's fairly new to hypnotism, that it is so freeing. It does things that you can't imagine, and it's not. At least my experience has been, you're completely coherent. You're not. No one is in control of you. They can't do anything to you. It's anything that you don't want to be done. It's great. I highly recommend it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. And just to dovetail on that, yeah, that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions that people have when they hear this word hypnosis, because they see those stage shows or they see these movies, and that, kind of gives people a misconception about how it really works. You're actually more in control of your mind, when you're in hypnosis, because now you're aware, you're super aware. So yeah, you're not going to do anything weird. You're actually just going to have the most beautiful, peaceful, calming, tranquil experience. And the worst thing that could possibly happen is that you fall asleep and then you wake up naturally. And maybe the suggestions entered, maybe they didn't. It's always best to kind of have, be following along with your mind and your heart and your vision, because you're going to actually just absorb the suggestions so much better by being relatively coherent while you're listening. But that's the worst that can happen, is that you fall asleep and it didn't work.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for being our guest, and thank you for doing your app, and I appreciate it greatly, and I know thousands of other people do too, so we appreciate you, and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's been a privilege to be a guest on your show. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well.